Hello, and welcome to Second Presbyterian Church of Chicago. I'm Ann Belletire, a docent for Friends of Historic Second Church, and this is my friend and fellow docent, Linda Miller. Today we're going to talk about Tiffany's St. Paul Preaching at Athens stained glass window, which you can see behind us here. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of the window, as well as the current condition of this window. This window is a large window over 8 feet wide by over 16 feet tall, and one of 9 Tiffany windows in the sanctuary of Second Presbyterian Church. This is the next window slated for restoration. The Tiffany Peace window was completely restored and returned to the sanctuary in 2018 to beautiful effect. First, a bit of history. St. Paul Preaching at Athens was first unveiled at First Presbyterian Church here in Chicago in June 1895. It was created by the Tiffany Glass and Decorating Company with the design generally attributed to Frederick Wilson. The window depicts scripture from the Christian Bible's New Testament book of Acts, chapter 17, verses 16 to 34. Paul preached at the Prime Council of Athens, and some of the people gathered to hear him became followers of Paul and converted to Christianity, among them Dionysius, presumably the seated figure in red. While not completely geographically accurate, the window includes the Parthenon in the background and a colossal statue of Athena, plus a large number of people of various nationalities surrounding and listening to Paul. The figure of St. Paul is unusual in that he is usually depicted with a beard, but here he is without. The figure of St. Paul bears a strong resemblance to Reverend Arthur Mitchell, to whom the window is dedicated. Reverend Mitchell was a beloved, long-term pastor at First Presbyterian. In 1927, when First Presbyterian moved to its current South Kimbark location, the window was installed here at Second Presbyterian. At that time, an elaborate 18-inch grapevine and trellis border was added by Giannini and Hilgard in order to make the window fit the opening. Next, we will examine the condition of the window, which will inform us why it is important to restore this window soon. The 125 years of accumulated dirt are obvious when we take a look at the figure of Athena with her shield, both barely visible. In addition to surface dirt, dirt has accumulated between the layers of glass. The painted areas are of particular concern. Look again at the face of St. Paul, and you can see only a ghostly image. Examine the crowd listening to St. Paul, and you can barely make out the faces due to all the dirt and grime. There is significant paint loss on the feet and hands, so cleaning and restoration of all the painted surfaces, unusually large here for a Tiffany window, is a major concern.
Next, let's look at Tiffany's stunning glass in this window. Tiffany used a variety of glass types to produce the design and pattern in his windows. Here we can see an excellent example of several of those types of glass. The first is drapery glass. Dionysius' red robe has numerous pieces of wonderfully folded glass, as do the other figures. They are meant to refract the light, but as you can see, the accumulated dirt leaves little room for the light play intended by Tiffany. The beautiful sky at sunset is produced by a technique known as streaky glass. Here, too, the buildup of dirt detracts from the stunning sunset. After restoration, it will again sparkle. The crown in the dedication panel here at the bottom is comprised of a variety of colors and shapes of jeweled glass, a Tiffany invention, no doubt inspired by his father's jewelry business. Many of these pieces of glass have cracked and will need to be re-glued during restoration. The cracking is most likely due to the pull of gravity on the glass, the deterioration of the steel frame over nearly 100 years, and the resultant bowing seen in many parts of the window. The bowing is particularly evident at the outer edges of the window, especially in the border installed in 1927. One of the 23 panels of this window was cleaned on site here in the 1990s in what was meant to be a temporary fix to a deteriorating window. That temporary fix is evident in the way we see the peeling of the painted surfaces. As you can see, the hands and feet are missing significant portions. A piece of clear glass was installed over those surfaces to prevent further deterioration and without any attempt to restore them to their original condition. The restoration we are undertaking will include a restoration and careful repainting of all the painted faces, hands, and feet. One can also see that the replacement leading holding the glass together was done in a temporary fashion. It is too thick and wide and, quote, modern looking. In the upcoming restoration, the leading will replicate the content used by Tiffany Studios and look like the 1895 leading. Restoration of a large window like this one is a big job. The work is expected to take 14 months. All 23 window sections will be removed, placed in wooden crates, and driven to Venturella Studio in New York. There, each section will be carefully documented and then completely taken apart. Each piece of glass will be cleaned numerous times. Any broken glass will be reglued, and replacement glass will be found in this window, will be replaced with Tiffany-like glass. Painted surfaces will be professionally repainted, and fortunately, we will use the photo of Reverend Mitchell to act as a guide in repainting St. Paul. Finally, the window will be reassembled using new leading, then recrated and returned to Chicago for reinstallation with a new steel frame for support and new clear glass protective cover to allow the light to shine through and reveal the window as Tiffany originally envisioned it in 1895. The restoration work on this window is slated to start in March 2021 and take 14 months. It will be returned sometime in the spring of 2022. We invite you to check the progress of the restoration of the window during that 14-month period on our website, and come visit us in 2022 and see the beautifully shiny restored window.